The UK apparently has different countries, different governments and different laws. But that doesn't always mean a completely different experience for people living outside the normal housing system. Because once you actually try to live in a van, occupy land, establish an off-grid home or live on a boat, the same problems often begin to appear. So how different are the rules when the outcome often feels exactly the same? Living on the road, waterways or off-grid in the UK, Dickie Dread. It's part 11, still in chapter 1, types of travellers and off-grid folk. Different cultures, similar challenges. The cultural difference between travelling communities are real, but they should not be exaggerated. Some travellers prefer communal living, shared camps and festival culture. Many van lifers prefer quieter, more individual travel. Others move between the two worlds at different stages of their lives. What links these groups is not necessarily their style or appearance, but their willingness to live outside the conventional housing system. Whether someone is driving a brightly painted bus or a modern white van, the basic idea is often the same: mobility, autonomy, and different relationship with place. As more people explore vehicle-based living, the boundaries between these cultures continue to blur. So why the law treats everyone the same? One of the key points of this book is that, from a legal perspective, many of these distinctions matter very little. Whether someone identifies as a traveller, a van lifer, a vehicle dweller, a boat dweller, or something else entirely, the same underlying pattern applies. Different legal systems may be involved. Highway law for roads, navigation law for waterways and planning law for land, but they operate in broadly similar ways. In each case, access is conditional, movement or permission is required, and enforcement powers sit with authorities who interpret how the rules apply in practice. Within planning law itself, there is no single UK-wide system. England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland each operate under devolved planning frameworks. For anyone moving between these regions, particularly those living on the road or combining road, land and water-based living, this can create subtle but important differences in what is permitted, how applications are assessed and how enforcement is carried out. Laws governing vehicles, parking, land use, moorings, navigation, trespass, public order therefore affect anyone attempting to live on the road, on the water or on land outside conventional housing systems. Understanding these legal realities is essential. In Scotland, this is shaped in part by the Land Reform Scotland Act 2003, which provides broad rights of access to land and inland water, but does not extend to residential use. The rest of this book focuses on explaining how these different legal frameworks work in practice, how they have been used against travelling communities in the past, and what they mean for anyone choosing a mobile or off-grid way of life today. Scotland, Northern Ireland, key differences. While much informal guidance tends to focus on England and Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland operate under distinct planning systems. Scotland places greater emphasis on national planning frameworks and regional development plans, while Northern Ireland uses a more centralised policy structure through the SPPS. Neither has a direct equivalent to Wales' One Plan development policy. For travellers, van lifers and off-grid dwellers, the practical takeaway is simple. The same setup may be treated differently depending on location. Movement between regions is not geographic, it is legal. So different parts of the UK may have different legal systems, but alternative living often encounters the same underlying barriers. And if that's the case, then the real issue may not be the specific wording of individual laws, which means the issue may be Scotland versus England, Wales versus Northern Ireland, or one planning system versus another. It might actually be how modern societies respond to people who choose to live outside conventional housing models. So are the differences between the nations as important as the assumptions they all share? Well, we'll treat that in the book and we'll cover everything in a lot more detail in later chapters. So next up we've got the legal definition of a caravan or a mobile home, and followed by what constitutes a dwelling in UK law.